we're going deep here, yeah? What about like people's upbringing? Yeah, let's just say, for example, you know, if you've always been told that, you know, you're not really going to amount to much, let's just say, you know, you build up some real self-confidence issues of you want to become successful, you want this, but you've always been told that, you know, you're not really going to amount to much. You know, how do you think those type of psychological barriers can kind of grow within you? And I'm not even just talking about when it comes down to achieving success in business here. I'm talking about sport as well. You know, so say, for example, as a professional sports athlete, if you was told, no, you're not going to achieve it. Oh, no, don't do that because, you know, the chances of you actually making professional football, you know, is slim to none. So, you know, get yourself a profession, get yourself a trade, yeah? Something like that. So, you know, how do you think that has a part to play in people achieving success? And how do you overcome things like that, do you think?
So, first and foremost, you're talking about environment, like, you know, where you're brought up, the environment that you're in. You know, will dictate, you know, your levels of success. And I do believe that, you know, I do believe that if you're brought up in an environment where it's very positive and everyone's obviously giving you positive feedback and they're aspiring for you to be successful, you're probably going to get more people in the successful world from that environment. Okay. I grew up in a very negative environment in a sense of not negative in my household. My household was fantastic. Okay. But the estate that we grew up on, there was no positive role models. Everybody on that estate had been told that they were never going to really achieve anything. Yeah, there was no level of aspiration within the people that lived on the estate. So it was on me to have to overcome that. Now, this is where personal development really plays a key role, because if you're surrounded by everybody who's negative, everybody who's telling you that, you know, you're not going to make it, you're not going to be successful. And at school, that was my environment. Okay. At school, I grew up dyslexic, speech impediment, you know, went to kind of like a disabled school for, you know, people with speech problems and stuff like that at a very young age. So, you know, that for me, I was always told that, you know, you're never going to become anything when it comes to education. Okay. How did I escape that? I'm very lucky. I actually look back and I think, because out of all of my group of friends that I grew up with on that estate, probably 15, if I said there's 15 really close friends, probably 12 of them are either dead or spent the last 15 years in prison. Why? Not because they were bad kids, because they wasn't, because I grew up with them from the age of like 6, 7 years old. The environment, they believed the environment, what the environment was telling them. Everybody around them that was telling them the negatives, they started to believe it. I was so lucky that at the time, I pulled myself out of that because I was going to Chelsea 2 or 3 times a week, where it was more of a positive environment. Coaches were saying, pat me on the back, and Cole, you're a really good player. You know, I had that positive feedback coming back to me a couple of hours a week, every couple of days. The rest of the time, you know, whilst I was at school and stuff, it was very negative, but those little positives for me was enough for me to go, well, hold on a minute. It can't be true. The teacher, when I go to school, is telling me I'm never going to amount to nothing. Yet when I go to Chelsea in the evening, the coach is telling me you're going to be an excellent player. You're a brilliant football player. So someone's lying. And I chose to believe the positive side of things. Now, if you're growing up in an environment where there's no positives whatsoever, of course you're going to struggle. Of course, because you don't know any different. I had to, at 16, pull myself out. I had to take myself out of West Kent Estate. I couldn't live there anymore because the group of kids that I'd grown up with from 6, 7 years old had got worse and worse and worse. Their negativity had got worse and worse and worse. They were robbing, stealing, doing all sorts as young kids do who grow up in a very negative environment. If I didn't pull myself out of that, I was going to get sucked into it. Yeah. So again, very lucky that I had my mum and my brothers and stuff around me to protect me. Yeah. But if you're growing up in that environment, the only way to really survive is to take yourself out. You know, again, so lucky I had a mentor who, again, gave me positive feedback. Carl, you're not that. Why are you hanging around in that group? that's not you. You're better than that. You can do better things. You can, you can achieve better things.